As you approach the age of 60 and beyond, a profound question begins to surface. Who will genuinely remain by your side as the years unfold? In your younger days, the answer might feel instinctive: your family, your dearest friends, the individuals who've been constants in your life for decades. Yet, as the milestone of 60 arrives, the lens through which you view these relationships often shifts. Life evolves in unpredictable ways. People become preoccupied with their own journeys, priorities realign, and the once unshakable support network you relied upon may reveal cracks you hadn't anticipated. This exploration isn't about casting doubt on the love or loyalty of those closest to you. Instead, it's an invitation to reflect deeply on where true dependability lies as you age. In this discussion, we'll uncover 6 foundational pillars that, over time, prove more steadfast than even the most cherished familial bonds. Far from encouraging isolation, this is about recognizing the sources of strength that ensure you're never left exposed or fragile when you need support the most. By cultivating these 6 pillars, you construct a bedrock of security and autonomy that sustains you through life's inevitable trials. These aren't fleeting promises or abstract ideals, they're tangible, actionable elements that can redefine how you approach your later years. Stay with me until the end, because these insights might fundamentally transform your perspective on what it means to be supported. By the time we're done, you'll feel equipped with a renewed sense of empowerment, connection, and readiness for whatever lies ahead. Let's dive in with the first pillar, your financial stability. It's a truth that becomes starkly evident as you age. The most unwavering ally you can have isn't a person, but the financial independence you've nurtured. While money itself doesn't guarantee joy, it undeniably provides a safety net, a sense of liberty, and a calm assurance that's hard to overstate. As you move past 60, the notion of leaning on family for monetary assistance shifts from a comforting backup plan to a precarious gamble. Consider the reality: your children, no matter how much they adore you, are navigating their own complex lives. They're juggling careers, raising their own families, and managing expenses that often stretch their resources thin. Even with the best intentions, they may not be in a position to step in when a financial crisis strikes. Take the example of Richard, a 72-year-old retiree who spent his life as a pillar for his family. He funded his children's educations, offered loans during their lean times, and was a steady presence whenever they needed him. But when a sudden health emergency depleted his savings, he turned to his kids for help, only to discover they were grappling with their own burdens, mortgages, rising costs, and unexpected setbacks of their own. This wasn't a reflection of their love or gratitude, but a reminder of life's unpredictability. Richard's story underscores why financial stability stands as a cornerstone of support. It's not about amassing wealth for its own sake, it's about readiness. It's about having a cushion for emergencies, a reliable income stream, and the know-how to manage your resources so that dependence on others never becomes your only option. If you're in your 60s or beyond, pause and reflect: do I have enough set aside to weather unforeseen costs? Is my retirement income a steady lifeline? Have I safeguarded myself against risks that could leave me exposed? If any of these questions stir unease, the moment to act is now. Building this pillar means mastering the art of budgeting with intention, tracking your spending, cutting out excess, and planning for the long haul. It's avoiding the trap of debt that can erode your freedom and investing in avenues that promise enduring stability, whether that's a modest savings plan, a diversified portfolio, or even a small side venture that keeps cash flowing. Life's twists and turns, medical bills, home repairs, or sudden losses, won't wait for permission. Your financial security, diligently cultivated, becomes the one constant that stands firm, offering you control and peace when the unexpected arrives. Moving to the second pillar, your physical health. No amount of affection, wealth, or external support can substitute for the vitality of your own body. After 60, your physical well-being emerges as either a powerful partner or a formidable foe. You might have all the money in the world, but if your health falters, your ability to live freely crumbles alongside it. Family may care deeply, but they can't step into your shoes to exercise, choose nourishing meals, or halt the natural wear of time. That responsibility rests solely with you. Far too many people coast through their earlier years, assuming that when health declines, someone, perhaps a spouse, a child, or a sibling, will swoop in to care for them. But the truth is sobering. Even the most devoted loved ones have their own lives to lead. They may lack the time, stamina, or capacity to become your full-time caregiver. Relying on others to manage your physical needs can strip away your agency, leaving you feeling more like a burden than a participant in your own story. Consider Carl, a 68-year-old who once thrived on an active lifestyle. Retirement brought a shift. He let his routines lapse, convincing himself there'd be time later to reclaim his fitness. But the years slipped by, and soon his energy waned, his joints stiffened, and everyday tasks grew daunting. His children stopped by when they could, but their visits couldn't restore his mobility or lift the weight of his regret. Carl came to a pivotal realization: if he wanted to preserve his independence, he had to act, not in some distant future, but immediately. You don't need to become a marathon runner or a gym enthusiast. The power lies in consistency, small, deliberate choices that compound over time. Walk daily, even if it's just around the block. Choose foods that energize rather than deplete, fresh vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains over processed snacks. Take your doctor's visits seriously, addressing nagging pains or fatigue before they escalate. Ignoring the signals your body sends, persistent aches, shortness of breath, or a creeping sense of weakness, is a gamble with steep odds. Every step you take today toward better health is a gift to the person you'll be tomorrow, ensuring you remain capable, vibrant, and in command of your life. Your health isn't just a pillar, it's the bedrock beneath all others. Without it, financial security loses its purpose, and social connections become harder to maintain. The more you invest in your physical well-being now, the less you'll need to lean on others later. It's your body, your choices, your strength, and that's a support system no one can take away. If these reflections resonate with you, drop a 2 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you're not yet subscribed, consider joining us. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're always in the loop for more insights like these. Now, let's press on. The third pillar, your social circle. One of the quiet traps of aging is the slow drift toward isolation. It doesn't always announce itself. It creeps in as friends relocate, loved ones pass, or life's demands pull people in different directions. Before you realize it, the vibrant network you once took for granted has shrunk, leaving gaps you didn't expect. Without meaningful connections, loneliness settles in, and after 60, loneliness isn't just an emotional weight. It's a tangible threat to your health, your mental clarity, and even your longevity. You might think family will fill that void, always there to chat or share a meal. But here's the reality: your children, siblings, or cousins have their own orbits, careers to chase, kids to raise, lives to live. Their love for you doesn't waver, but their availability often does. Expecting them to be your sole lifeline for companionship is a fragile plan. That's why your social circle, those friends, neighbors, and community ties, becomes an indispensable pillar of support. Take Margaret, a 73-year-old who once leaned heavily on her 2 sons for company. They adored her, but as their own families grew, their time dwindled. Calls became sporadic, visits less frequent, and Margaret found herself alone more often than not, waiting for a connection that rarely came. Then she took a bold step. She reached out to old friends, joined a local gardening club, and started attending a weekly book discussion. Suddenly, her days brimmed with laughter, stories, and a renewed sense of belonging. She didn't need to rely on her sons to feel alive. She'd built that vitality herself. These relationships aren't frivolous extras, they're lifelines. A neighbor who waves hello, a friend who calls to check in, a group that shares your interests, they weave a tapestry of emotional richness. Studies show that strong social ties lower stress, boost cognitive function, and even add years to your life. So, ask yourself, who lights up my days right now? If the list feels short, it's time to branch out. Join a class, volunteer, strike up a conversation at the coffee shop. A robust social network doesn't just keep loneliness at bay, it lifts your spirits, affirms your value, and makes every moment fuller. The fourth pillar, your sense of purpose. As you cross into your 60s, a subtle shift often occurs. The roles that once defined you, parent, professional, provider, begin to fade. Retirement slows your rhythm, children forge their own paths, and the question looms, what now? Without a clear answer, it's easy to feel adrift, as if your relevance has dimmed. No matter how much your family cherishes you, they can't hand you a purpose. That's a flame you must kindle within. Purpose isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the spark that gets you out of bed, keeps your mind sharp, and fills your days with meaning. Think of George, a 70-year-old engineer who retired with dreams of leisure. At first, the freedom felt like a reward, but soon the quiet grew heavy. His kids stopped by now and then, but their visits couldn't fill the void. Restless, George found a new calling, volunteering to teach kids about building and design. Suddenly, he had a reason to rise, a way to feel needed, and a bridge back to the world. Your purpose doesn't need to be grand. It might be tending a garden, writing a memoir, mentoring a young person, or mastering a new skill. It's anything that stirs your soul and keeps you engaged. If you've been drifting, convinced your prime is past, flip that script. Purpose doesn't retire, it transforms. The more you chase it, the less you'll look to others for fulfillment. It's not about someone else lighting your way, it's about the glow you create within, driving you forward with every step. If this strikes a chord, type 4 in the comments to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed, do it now, hit that bell so you never miss a beat. Your support fuels more content like this. Let's keep going. The fifth pillar, your emotional resilience. Life doesn't soften its edges as you age, challenges persist, they just wear different faces. Losses mount, health wavers, and solitude can feel sharper. While external support helps, the truest strength lies inside, your capacity to bend without breaking, to face pain and find peace. Family might offer comfort, but they're fighting their own battles, and their shoulders may not always be free to carry your load. Helen, a 75-year-old widow, learned this after losing her husband of 40 years. At first, she turned to her children, who rallied around her with love. But as their own lives demanded attention, she saw she couldn't lean on them indefinitely. Instead, she built her own resilience, joining a grief group, writing her thoughts, and practicing gratitude. She found she didn't need someone to mend her heart, she could mend it herself. Emotional resilience isn't about denying hurt, it's about meeting it head-on with tools like reflection, mindfulness, or even professional support. It's crafting a quiet strength that holds you steady, no matter the storm. The more you nurture it, the less you'll crave external fixes, because you, at your core, become your own anchor. The sixth pillar, your ability to adapt. After 60, change is the only constant. Relationships shift, routines dissolve, and what once felt certain slips away. Clinging to the past breeds struggle, but embracing adaptability opens doors. Frank, a 78-year-old, faced this when his social world shrank. Rather than surrender to isolation, he learned video calls, joined online forums, and forged new bonds. Change didn't defeat him, it reshaped him. Adaptability isn't passive, it's proactive. It's saying yes to new tools, new people, new ways of living. The most fulfilled aren't the richest or best supported, they're the ones who pivot, who stay curious, who refuse to calcify. Every shift is a chance to grow, and the more you welcome it, the more you thrive. If this resonates, drop a 6 in the comments. And if you're not subscribed, join us, your support keeps this going. In closing, life beyond 60 blends wisdom with tests. Family matters, but the steadiest support is the one you forge. Financial security for peace, health for freedom, connections for joy, purpose for meaning, resilience for strength, and adaptability for growth. With these, you're never truly alone, you're ready, standing tall, no matter what comes. Share your takeaway below. What will you build on today? Your voice inspires us. Like, subscribe, and share if this moved you. See you next time.